Hello, I'm Natalie MacDonald, and you're joining us here at Super Return Asia 2016. It's my great pleasure to welcome into the studio Jie Gong from Pantheon. Jie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
So we've seen an increased amount of co-investment. What is it that makes this so attractive to LPs?
Co-investment offers a number of benefits. First of all, and most visibly, most of co-investments come without the layer of fee and also carry. So economically, it's very appealing to the co-investors that participating in the co-investment alongside the GP. And secondly, when you do co-investment, the money is funded day one. So it helps reducing the J-curve for an investment program. And that's another benefit that people perceive to be very attractive. And additionally, co-investment really allows you to observe the GP very closely in action. You get to see their due diligence process and the rigor of their underwriting. So that in itself is very valuable feedback to LPs who also invest in funds. So all those benefits combined make the demand for co-investment on the rise in Asia.
Well, of course, but with that sort of rise in demand, how does the GP therefore decide which of the LPs receive that co-investment?
Well, there's a lot of expressed interest in co-investments, and I think the appeal for that is becoming more widely accepted. So when GP considers the co-investment allocation, of course, relationship with the LP is front and center in that consideration. But besides the relationship, the length of it, the depth of it, there's also practical consideration of the deal timeline. What I mean is that the GP actually is in need of capital coming from LPs to fulfill its investment timeline on a given deal. And that means speed and the certainty of execution are critical elements for the GP to consider when it think about who among the LPs to approach. So those that have an in-house team with transaction background and execution capability generally are viewed quite favorably because they are able to respond in a timely manner and make a decision or arrive at a decision timely in order to accommodate the deal time frame.
Is there perhaps a tension between the fund size and the co-investment volume?
Well, fund size is really a function of a number of factors. So, if you think about co-investments, the fund size certainly has a somewhat inverse relationship, but it's actually not that simple. What we see is that these days many LPs realize that GPs have a demand and a desire for co-investment. So when they think about the fund size, they actually factor in that potential co-investment capacity in their deliberation. But of course, many other factors come into play. What is the appropriate size for their target sector and target strategy, as well as organizationally, what level of fee stream allow them to attract and attain the best talents. So it's not just simply a function of how much is reserved for co-investment, but there are other things that they will need to loop in when considering fund size.
Well, one of those things also to be looping in and to also be considering, once you've identified those targets, is also, what sort of level of deal due diligence also should investors be active in conducting?
I would say, a traditional source of co-investment is with the LPs with the GPs that the LPs have backed. So in those situations, familiarity with the GP, their core strengths, and the typical kind of deals that they have excelled in the past feature very prominently in the due diligence. And I would say typically in those situations, the LPs who participate in the co-investment rely primarily on the GP's due diligence material and output in help arrive at an underwriting decision. And a large part of their consideration is the so-called sponsor fit, which is whether this is a deal is right in the sweet spot of this particular GP. And there are other cases where the source may be non-traditional, coming from a fundless sponsor, where there's much less depth or length of a relationship. So those are the times where external due diligence need to be involved, and more reference calls and other types of due diligence need to be integrated into an LP's co-investment decision.
Jie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
That is all we've got time for right now. However, you can follow the hashtag SRAsia to find more interviews with industry leaders right here from Super Return Asia. I'm Natalie MacDonald. Goodbye for now.